I was the host. In some others, Franz was the host. And as you notice, hi, Franz.
Hey, Thomas. Somewhat of a special episode today. So I'm glad to be here. I don't know if I'm a guest or a host today, but I'm glad to be here.
I think it's a mix of both. So what we'll do today, both of us will host you to this very, very exclusive special show. We have many, many, many great topics, which we'll cover today. In fact, we'll talk about 3 big announcements, 3 big feature and product launches. But before we do this, we just want to give a very, very quick intro of where we're coming from and what basically the overall situation is that we're currently in. If you look at today we have the 3rd of September. In exactly 12 weeks, Black Friday is happening. These are just 12 weeks. 12 weeks, it's not a big amount of time. It's basically 3 months. And this pretty much means that the most important season of the year is starting now. Now this year, the most exciting, the most important season is even more important than usually. And there are basically 2 factors. Factor number 1. So for those of you that followed our COVID-19 research throughout March, April, May, and June, you probably have noticed a couple of things which already looked a little bit deeper into back then. And one of the bigger things that we discussed in these months was a very big shift to e-commerce. That's quite a big thing because this will have now a huge impact. So let me just very quickly share my screen to show what we are basically talking about here. So if you watch or if you look at this slide, you basically see the e-commerce share of retail sales between 2017 and 2023 globally. This was a prediction before COVID-19 happened. And this small number, if you look here at the projection of 2020, which is 16%, last year it was 14%. If you look at it from a top level, it doesn't seem to make such a big difference if it's 40% or 60% or later it's 80%. But it really, when you really think about it, what it actually means for any sales on Amazon, this has a huge impact. Because if e-commerce is growing 20-30% year over year, this basically means that the demand for any e-commerce product on average is also growing by roughly 20%. This was the prediction before COVID-19. This year, many things happened due to COVID-19. We've seen many, many effects on the user and on the demand side of the businesses. And 2 factors which we observe very quickly is one, that users which already bought earlier on Amazon, like myself, they started to buy even more. Example, which I actually just told Franz, before the show, that I was for the first time this year, I started to buy very, very big household items on Amazon. So I bought my first washing machine in April on Amazon. Normally, I went to some of the local big stores, I get some consultation there, and then I bought it there. But this time I changed. And I'm not the only one. Many, many, many consumers across the world started this time to buy more things on Amazon, things which they haven't purchased before. So you can expect that this already will have quite some significant impact on this curve when we think about the upcoming months. The second big effect has to do something with this. So when we think about basically the next 12 weeks, we normally think about 2 big days. This is Black Friday and Cyber Monday, which will exactly happen in 12 weeks. And then there's another big one, which is Christmas, which usually happens 3-4 weeks later. But there's a 4th big day when we look across the full cycle across the year. And this is Prime Day. And for I think everyone have probably noticed that Prime Day hasn't happened this year in July. Normally it happens roughly around mid-July, but this year it has not. So what we've heard from Amazon is pretty much this. So this is the Amazon page, just check it out. It still states it's coming, Prime Day, but they don't basically announce the day. However, there are many rumors. So there are many rumors which essentially are stating that Prime Day will most likely happen in October. So even if this is not fully confirmed yet, we at Sellics believe that it's absolutely important to prepare for that, because if it happens, then this will be a big deal. Why will this be a big deal? Because we will have Prime Day in October, we have Black Friday and Cyber Monday in November, we have Christmas in December. So all of the 4 big days of the year will happen in one quarter. If you now take these 2 effects together, if you take the first effect, which will be the boost in e-commerce, which we expect will happen naturally due to all the lockdowns which happened around the world, and the second effect, if Prime Day happens in October, then this will have a huge impact on the demand side. So what does that mean? This means that from a Sellics side of things, we will try in the next 12 months to get you everything you need to get you through this incredible important time and to ensure that you can grow your business as much as possible. And we will kick off today with 3 of the exciting launches. Before we, however, start with the launches, let's first say actually hello to everyone. And
special hello to Kevin, who's been joining from his vacation. So I hope you enjoy your vacation. I hope you're in an area that's not too affected by COVID, but you can still enjoy the summertime.
Yeah, welcome, Kevin. And also on that, apologies for all of our audience in the US. We also know that many in the US are right now on vacation this week, as Monday is a big holiday. But we still wanted to ensure that we can kick off today. And of course, the recording of this will as usually be available. But let's just get a very quick start with the audience. First of all, again, hello. I think now most have joined. Let's start with the very first quick survey before we basically go into the launches. And the first question, which Franz and I just would like to hear is, are we the only ones that think that this will be the biggest Q4 in the industry or not, right?
All right.
So let's see. So I think we get the first results in. I think we have 85%, 86%, 80%, which say yes. That's good. Okay. So at least what I just said in the first 3 minutes.
People believe you, Thomas. That's good.
That's hopefully good. We have 2 people which right now say no. This either means, that we have some people in the audience that had already an amazing Q4 in the past, and they just think it's impossible to really beat that. So let's see if this will be the case. And we have, 3 we have now, and we have roughly 70% that don't know yet. And particularly to this group that don't know yet, I think what we will now try to do throughout the show and also in the next couple of weeks to pretty much prove that this will be the biggest quarter for your own business. The second very quick question, which you can see basically also here the results, right? But now let's jump to the second question, which we have. And this is Prime Day, right? Because this is another big topic in the industry. Franz and I talk a lot about this, and it's not confirmed again, but there are many rumors. So what do you guys think? Do you think that Prime Day will actually happen in October or no? Okay, here we have a very mixed picture.
A lot more, 50% around, absolutely. All right. So there's not too much confidence here at this point.
But it's still 50%. I mean, for an event which is not officially confirmed by Amazon, I mean, we have 40% that definitely think with this. We have another 46% which are not sure yet, which I think is absolutely understandable. And we have another 13% that don't think so.
Don't think so.
So I think another very, very interesting I think just pulse check where we are. And because we also don't know, right? So we don't know if it's happening, but I think, we think that it's incredibly important to be ready. With that said, we will jump directly into the first big launch. And before I will hand over to Franz, just one small comments to everyone that is listening in. So they can cancel Oktoberfest, they can cancel Prime Day. Yes, that's true, Jim. They can. I agree. I mean, this year everything is possible. Even the Oktoberfest got canceled.
Trust us, as Germans, we're particularly affected by the canceling of the Oktoberfest. So we hope that at least we'll have Prime Day.
Exactly. We hope that. But just before we jump in, so this is an interactive live show. If you have any questions throughout the show, through any of the 3 launches we will cover, please just post them in the chat, post them in the Q&A. Franz and I will try to address them throughout the show. If you are listening via the podcast, that's of course difficult, right? But then you always can reach out to us separately. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, also just leave comments there, and we also will try to monitor them. Last but not least, we really want to ensure that all of the launches are as helpful for your business as possible. So again, please shout any questions, any comments, any thoughts, and we will really do our best to ensure that we can address your thoughts, ideas, and concerns. So this brings us to the 3 launches. Franz, what is number 1?
So first of all, I'm very excited to have 3 big launches in one session, but the very first one is in the area of profit. So profit, obviously, I think is ultimately the goal of everyone that's selling on Amazon. So when you sell on Amazon, the goal is to generate revenue, and the goal is to generate profit. So whatever you do on Amazon, whether it's SEO, reviews, advertising, ultimately everything is around revenues and profits. So we think that being able to easily track your profits and your sales is just a baseline. If you cannot link your actions to your sales or to your changes in sales and profits, you are blind. Now, surprisingly, as we all know, Amazon is pretty terrible at showing sellers their sales and their profits, especially since the most recent upgrade of Seller Central. I don't know how you guys like the new design. From what I hear personally also, I don't think it's been an upgrade. It's rather been a downgrade. But overall, Amazon just makes it incredibly difficult to access any sales information, let alone any fee information. So Seller Central is just incredibly intransparent. So because of this, financial reporting has been a key area for us here at Sellics, and you're all are aware of it. If you've been following Sellics and if you're using Sellics, then you know that profit and all the financial reporting has been a key focus. And so generally speaking, there are 3 major pain points that we want to solve for you. The first one is that we want to allow you to track the exact products that you are selling live throughout the day. So you may know that in a Seller Central app, they show you the units and they show you today's revenue, but they don't break it down on the individual ASINs. So that is one of the first pain points that we want to solve. The second big pain point that we want to solve is we want to help you to measure your actual profitability. So not just the sales, but also what's left at the end of all of it if you deduct all the costs. And then third, and probably most importantly, we want to allow you to track your advertising profitability. So advertising, I think, is obviously a key driver of revenue for many these days. And so being able to really understand how profitable advertising is for what ASIN is very important. And so that is the third big area in which we want to help our users. And so along all of those 3 areas, we have released a bunch of updates over the past couple of months, some of them which are already live to the customers, some of them which are not, but I want to walk you through the different areas where we made improvement and releases. And so to do this, I want to start with the first thing that we've changed. So for this, let me share my screen just very briefly.
And Franz, I just want to notice some of the comments that we also see in the chat. So I think there's really some excitement for this. And I think there's also some confidence that what you're saying around Seller Central, you know, there might be some folks in the audience that see it the same way. And also before we also forget that one, Fabian, also greetings, right? In terms of, you know, we are also very happy that you joined from Germany. We will have some dedicated also shows for Germany in particular in the future, but glad that you also made it to this show.
I wasn't sure when I want to show it, but now if there's so much hate around Seller Central, I just recommend to you to go to this Reddit thread. It's one of my favorite sources of information, actually, fulfillment by Amazon. And there's this one guy who's just going crazy. Anyone else hate Amazon sales dashboards? And so a lot of people are going nuts around this, right? So yes, You're not alone. So the first big thing is that we have revamped and updated our entire mobile profit app. So the app that we have had an app for quite some time, but now we've overhauled and we've updated the entire app, and we've improved the experience and added a bunch of functionality to it. So you can see here, this is a new page. It is available for Google Play and for the App Store, right? Essentially, let me just, I think instead of just showing the website, let me just dive right into the demo. So here is the app. This is live. This is how it is. Just as the old app, we wanted to keep it very simple and really nail it down to get the most important information across, so that without any effort at the first glance, you get all the relevant information that you need that you want to have. So the way that it's built here is the moment you log in, you get to this screen here. You'll see the most important information right at the top. You'll see sales, units, and you'll see profits. That's for today. That's for Wednesday, September 2nd. You will be able then to go here into the you'll have the chart here, and then as you scroll down, you will be able to then also have an exact breakdown of all the ASINs that you're selling. So this is the most granular view that you can have. Now, so that's on the first page. So you see the exact sales, you see the products, and you have an exact breakdown per ASIN. Now, you can very easily also go to different countries. Obviously, specifically if you sell in Europe, but also larger sellers in the US, they will typically sell in different countries. So you could say like, hey, show me Italy, for instance, right? And then it will just take you to Italy, and it will set it to Italy, and then you'll see it here. Now you can also continue, and you'll be able to then look at, let's say, a weekly aggregation, and you could break it down on a child ASIN level. So it's very flexible the way that you can analyze your data here, but pretty much you will be able to analyze this in all sorts of different in sizes. Now, so here we are on a weekly level. Now, if you want to go back in time, right? So let's say that you don't want to look at this week, but you want to look at last week or the week even before. There is a very easy way to do this, which is that with your thumb, you just click on the week or the number that you want to look at. And so this red line will always tell you what revenue you're looking at, right? Or what week or day or month you're looking at. And so it's very easy. It will change the numbers here at the top, and it will also change the numbers here at the bottom. So if you want to look and see what products you've been selling on week 32, you just click here, and then you'll see again the exact breakdown. So that is how the app works. It is extremely convenient, specifically to check your daily sales, because you log in and you'll see your daily stats right away, and your exact breakdown per product. Now, if you want, you can even take it further. So you cannot just look at sales, but we've added a bunch of other metrics that you can choose from that are interesting to check on the go. So there are obviously sales and profits, but you could also look at returns, for instance. So you could just select returns, and then the chart will change to returns, and so you will be able to see on a weekly basis, but you can also look at this on a daily level if you want. The returns that you have had in a specific week, and if you want, you can even break it down more specifically, and you'll see exactly which product has been returned. So it is a very easy and very fast and convenient way to look at all sorts of different metrics. PPC share. So this is the total percentage of your gross revenue attributed to PPC. So you can see how much of your revenue has been generated through PPC. You can see that it's been at 50% here in that week. It's been even at 64% in week 28. So it is a fantastic way to just, if you're on the go, or if you have a few seconds and you want to know a few things about your business, you can just go in there and analyze this very quickly and very easily. So a complete overall of the app, working both for Android and for iOS. It's working for your sellers, for everyone that has a Sellics account. and it is available in the App Store already now. So if you want to give it a try, feel free to give it a try.
Franz, this is fantastic. I mean, just this chart, I love it. Even if it goes the other way that I normally observe.
That's true. Typically, a PPC share goes up, but here obviously it's been going down.
Needs to be a demo account, right? So otherwise, normally it's the exact other way around. But we have already a very quick question from Shalvino, and again, we will take also all of the questions at the end. But if you have any burning questions throughout the presentations, please always shout. So Shalvino was asking. First of all, he seems to be excited, what we love to hear. And the second point was, is this available for both iOS and Android?
Yes, so it is. Great question. It is available for both. So you can either go on the Android store or also for iOS. So you can just go to the Sellics website. You go here to profit.
If you just go to Sellics, if you just reload the page, because I just heard from our team that we just updated it
right now,
3 minutes ago, and there it is. Now you see a new beautiful link at the top, which is
profit. Then you hit mobile app, it takes you to the page, and so here on the page you'll have the link to the Android store and to the App Store. You download the app, you log in with the same credential that you use to log in into Sellics, and then once you're logged in, you don't need to log in every time that you open it. You'll just be logged in for a certain amount of time, and then you can just open and use it. And it will refresh every couple of minutes to show the live stats throughout the day.
Great, and just probably to also finish this one, if you go to the normal profit page, Franz, right? So profit is, we know that we have today a very diverse audience. We have Sellics customers, we have folks that have been Sellics customers, we have many that follow Sellics for a long time. So we have a very diverse group today. So if you are already using Sell Edition, everything is included there. You have already the newest profit version. You can just download the app and you're fine. If you're not, you can basically just start a Seller Edition free trial, and then you can check it out directly, because you can access to the new profit, and you also can download the app, which you see here directly, and you can try it. You can play with it in the 14 days trial, and you will get a very good picture of the power that the dashboard and also the app can have.
Yeah, so I guess it's important to highlight that it does require a Sellics account to use the app. And the reason for this is pretty simple. In order to use it, you must connect your Amazon MWS API, and this only works through the Sellics account. So that's why you need both in combination. But everyone that is already using Sellics today, the Seller Edition, you can just go and download the app, and it will be available in a few seconds.
Cool. We have two first questions on this one. So the first question is from Yun. Hi, Yun. Profit takes ad costs into consideration?
Yes. So let me maybe just go directly to kind of the next part of the profit release, because I think we'll go into those questions as well. So that's been the update from the app. Now there has also been an update of the actual Sellics software. So not the mobile app, but the desktop version. And again, here we also have a completely redesigned and completely rebuilt profit dashboard. And so here we are in the Sellics Seller Edition. If you hit on profit, it will take you to this page. And so on this page, you will see, let me just refresh it. You will see the profit, the new profit dashboard. And so the profit dashboard indeed takes into account all sorts of costs. So let me go through this on a high level. The mobile app is the best way to track your daily sales and the breakdown on an ASIN level on the go. The desktop version is the best way if you really want to break down your profitability and understand how much money you're making with the individual items. So the profit dashboard, what it does is it connects to your Amazon account. It pulls out all the revenue data and all the fees that you have on Amazon, and it automatically breaks them down in the way displayed here. So it breaks them down by PPC sales. So those are the sales that you generate through advertising, and by organic sales. Those are the sales that you generate through your organic listings. And then you have all sorts of costs that we are taking into account here. So we have sales tax and VAT, total cost of goods. So those are costs that you pay for your items, obviously, Amazon commissions, FBA shipping fees, promotion costs, total return costs. So if there are any costs related to returns, and then finally also the ad spend. So to answer the question that was from Jung, yes, it takes into account all the advertising costs as well. So everything that you spend on sponsored products, sponsored display, or sponsored brands will be included here as well. And based on this, you then have the profit and the profit margin. So this is ultimately, I guess, the reason why everyone is in the business, right? So it's this number here. How much profit are you making? So that is a high level breakdown. Now you'll see on the right side also a bunch of top level metrics and a trend chart. And so on this trend chart, you will be able to see trends going on. I personally like this setting here where you have your total revenue and your refund rate. So you can see what's been the refunds that you've been receiving and the return rates. But really there is an extremely long list of metrics that you can look at side by side. You could look at gross margin, for instance, and see how gross margin is developing over time relative to your net sales. You can also look at this on a separate axis. So it is extremely flexible, and it is a great way to just look at trends over time. And now some of you may be wondering, okay, well, I get where you take all those fees from, but where do you take cost of goods? Because cost of goods is not something that you have in Amazon. And it's true. So cost of goods is something that you can, if you want, it's not mandatory, but if you really want to have the exact profit calculation, you can upload your cost of goods into Sellics. And you can do this by clicking here on the cost manager. And on the cost manager, you'll have a list of all the items that you're selling, and you'll be able to add all the costs for an individual item here. And so the beautiful thing is that you can enter different costs for different periods, because typically your costs for the items don't remain the same. Every batch that you have, if you order larger quantities and with your supplier, it will give you a better price and so on. So you can add different prices for different periods. So here in this case, from 1st of January to 1st of July, the price was $7.77. Then it went down to $7.50. And then on 1st of January 2020, it went up to $7.77 again. So you're able to upload the costs time specific, and you can do this here very easily. You can also upload this here if you have a bunch of ASINs to make it easier. So that's how you upload cost of goods. And then once you've done this, and you scroll down here on this page, the beautiful thing is that, again, you will have an exact breakdown on an ASIN level, and you'll see all the metrics on an ASIN level. And so I just want to show you the power of how you can do this. So if you were to sort by net profit, so let's say you want to see the products where you're losing money, you just sort by net profit. And now here right away, you'll see a bunch of items where you're losing money. And now the question is, why is this the case? So how come that you're losing money? Now, my first guess here for the first product is the reason I'm losing money is that here 86% of all revenue is coming from advertising. So my assumption is that I'm spending a lot of money on advertising. And if I go here now on this breakdown, and I have an exact breakdown of all the revenue and all the fees here for this item. And when I scroll down a little here, I will see right away that I'm spending 94 euros on this item. And that is the reason why overall I'm making a loss of 40 euros. Okay. So very easy, very accessible information, extremely important. Why am I losing money on this item? Well, the answer is because you're spending too much on advertising and it's not profitable. Now, if you continue here, for the next item, we'll see that we also lose money, but we see that we have 0% in advertising. So the advertising cannot be the reason. Now, if we scroll to the right a little bit, we'll see that we have a bunch of other items like the return rate or the refund rate. And here we see that we have a refund rate of 25%. So my assumption again would be that the reason we're losing money is because there are too many refunds. And so if we open up the calculation for this ASIN again, and we look at where we spend money, we'll see that there's a total of 38 euros in return costs. And that's the reason why overall we're losing 27 euros. So a very easy way how you can very easily break down your costs and understand where you're making money and where you're losing money. And again, very flexible. You can group it by parent. You can look at it on a child level. You can look at it for your individual marketplaces. You can look at it for Europe altogether. So it is extremely flexible. So you should have most information here. If you want to, you can also export it if you really want to take it to the most granular level. So that's the profit dashboard. Has been live for a couple of months now in some versions, but we've kept iterating and improving, and now that's where we've arrived.
Franz, thank you so much. We have already a couple of questions, which I just want to ensure that we also can cover. So I think the question from you, right? So around profit takes ad cost into consideration. I think this has been now addressed clearly. So absolutely yes. It's a one big core part of the profit feature. The second question from John was how frequent is the advertising and sales data updated?
Yeah, great question. So the sales data is updated every couple of minutes. So typically anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes. So the sales data is live. Now the advertising data is only updated once per day. And that is a limitation on Amazon's end. There is no way for us to get intraday data. So the advertising data will always be refreshed the next day and will then be updated.
Perfect. Then we have Tung and Rick. Thank you. I think some excitement. And yes, the 18th model of Amazon Seller Central. We're not saying this, but Rick, we definitely, I think, see this as well. And that's why we hope that this is useful and makes a couple of things just much easier, which otherwise are almost impossible to do or incredibly difficult. Then we have a question from Jacob, which we'll touch on in a second because it goes already to another piece which we'll talk about. But let's go first to the Q&A. So Bhavana was asking, the profit still does not look accurate on this updated mobile app. Do we need to add cost of goods again to the mobile app, or would the mobile app take the cost of goods from the desktop side automatically?
So it automatically takes the cost of goods from the desktop version. There is no need to upload cost of goods a second time. You just upload it here as I showed before, and then it will automatically transit into the profit app. So now what might be the case is that if you look at it for today, the advertising cost for today might not be factored in because as I just said before, advertising cost is always updated once a day. So it could be that for today, the profit number is a bit off because of the lack of advertising costs not being reflected there. But if you look at it tomorrow, it will be accurate for today.
And Bhavana asked another question. Can you please add profit per unit to the mobile app? That is so important.
Profit per unit. That's a very fair request, and I think it's duly noted. So we'll make sure to consider this as in the next update. There are a couple of ideas already. Also, to have some sounds whenever you make a sale or so. So there are a couple of ideas, but feel free to just send everything you have our way, and then we'll make sure how we can incorporate this.
Bhavana, thank you. You guys are amazing. Yes, absolutely. We also really appreciate these kind of feedback. Again, the big goal here is to really create something that is valuable for you. So if you have any thoughts, any feedback, please always shout. And you're talking with the right person here right now, right? So if Franz hears it, then there's a very good chance that these things will happen quickly. Coming back to another question, which we have in the Q&A from Raw. Yeah, how can you best reflect shipping costs for MFN shipped goods? And then I think also connected to this, how does Sellics calculate total costs for MFN shipped items when you have multiple units shipped in one order, e.e. 10 units are shipped in one order?
Yeah, so MFN obviously, so merchant fulfilled items. So you will see that the way that we do it here, or the way that you can do it here, is that as you enter the cost of goods, you can enter the unit price, but you can also enter a shipping price. So that would be the shipping fees associated to this item for any merchant fulfilled deliveries. So unfortunately, there is no way for us to detect whether multiple items have been bundled together and whether there's a reduction. So in that case, it wouldn't be the exact number. We would, if you have 3 items that you bundle in one and you just have one cost of delivery, in that case, we would count we would count the shipping costs of every individual item. So that is unfortunately that is not possible to get this information, because we would need to connect to your own warehousing system or so, which we're not doing. But there is a way to include the information here. And I think, look, give or take, it will give you a pretty good sense of where you are. There might be a small error margin in a 0.0 something percent, but overall it should be, it will give you the exact, very, very good numbers.
Perfect. Yeah, I think this is a great question, Ross. So I hope that this addresses it. And then we had, coming back to the chat, one question from Jacob. Hi, Jacob. Off topic. Yeah, it's not so off topic. I think it's partly connected. Are you aware of any way to change Amazon's attribution model for PPC campaigns?
Well, I mean, I'm trying. Believe me, every time I'm in Seattle, I am lobbying very heavily to change the attribution model. I think last click is not ideal. So the only way to do this, I mean, there's no way through the UI at this point. I think that what we try to do is we try to convince them to change the attribution, or at least give us more flexibility, and then we can do it. But it's a lot of lobbying. I do this. It's one of my top 2 requests that I have. I've been lobbying for a bit more than a year on this now. And so I hope that it's coming. But talking about advertising, I think, just Thomas, give me a second. I think the other thing, well, there we are, we're locked out. Let's see if I can move from this one. Yeah. So the other thing I just wanted to show very quickly, because it kind of relates to this, and it's a critical part of the Sellics Profit Dashboard. If you use the Sellics Profit Dashboard, the information that you have uploaded there will automatically be sent to our advertising module, so to our PPC manager. And that is the beauty of using a software that combines profit and advertising, because we are able to tell you exactly the net profit that you're generating from your advertising. So if you go into the PPC manager, you'll have all the typical advertising metrics like sales, spend, ACoS, and so on, but you'll also have the profit. And so this is the profit. So the profit that you generate from advertising, you have sales minus ad spend, but also minus FBA fees, Amazon fees, return costs, promotion costs, all the cost of goods. So all the costs that you have in the profit dashboard are taken into account here as we calculate the profit. And now you take it even one step further, which is that we break it down even on a campaign level. So without any extra effort, we do all of this fully automatically. You have your profit data here included on a campaign level. So you can see that this campaign here you're losing 36 euros on that campaign in that area. Here you're winning 7.5 euros. And that is really the net profit. So there's a profit, again, not just taking into account advertising spend, but also taking into account cost of goods, return fees, everything that you have, and that is factored in. So it is super easy for you to keep an overview of your advertising profitability.
Perfect. I think, Franz, we have another couple of questions. I also think that Jacob added some additional context of his pain points, and no need to apologize, Jacob. You know, we will try to address them shortly. Same thing holds true for your question, Sultan, and also up to Enrico. Thanks for the comments here. I'm just a little bit worried about time, you know, because as you all notice, we have 3 launches, right? This was just number 1. We have another 2. So what I will do now, we will quickly continue to the second big launch, right, which we want to talk about today. So what I will do now, I will quickly share my screen to give you guys some context of what is actually happening here. So.
Yeah, it's true. I get carried away when I demo the product. It's my passion for this topic, and so it always takes more time than I want to. But look, I think it's a ton of cool stuff. So you know, no need to hide it.
Franz, no, I think that's perfectly fine. But we're also obviously aware that everyone in the audience has blocked most likely 1 hour. So we also want to ensure that we run through most of the important topics in time. So are you guys seeing my screen? Franz, are they seeing my screen?
Yeah,
see my screen? Fantastic. So what you basically will see here, I just searched for PlayStation 4 controller and normal search on Amazon, which happens thousands of times a day. And one of the things which you will notice here, and for many other of these kind of searches, you will see this beautiful ad spot at the top, which basically links to a shop, right? So in this case, it's an ad, it's called Sponsor Brands, and it's an ad which you also will see on many other fields, right? You will sometimes see it at the bottom of the search results page. You will, in many times, if you click on any of the products, you will also see it in that space, right? So on the product detail page, it also appears quite often here. So if you think about Sponsor Brands, it's basically one of the formats which can appear on two of the most important pages where you can appear. In the past, we talked a lot about basically sponsor products, which is also the main format that I think most are quite familiar with. But now the other two big formats, Sponsor Brands and Sponsor Display, these are now the two big ones which have seen quite some growth in the recent months and also in the last 1 or 2 years. And where also Amazon has invested a huge amount of time and work to really make them as good as possible. So this is the reason why now for Sponsor Brands, we also invested quite a significant amount of time to really understand and to really also listen and to look exactly what is happening in the market, what is going on, and how can we ensure that as many brands as possible across the world on Amazon can also benefit from Sponsor Brands. We know that if we look at Sponsor Brands, it works slightly different to sponsor products. So there are differences when it comes to the campaign structure. There are also differences when it comes to the specific sub-ad formats. You can use product collection, you can store spotlight, you can use video. So there are different things you can do. And the key question, however, that still remains is if you now set up any of these, how can you really ensure that these campaigns get better and better and better every day, every week, so that the performance which you will see around profitability, but also around sales, gets basically improved on an ongoing basis. With that said, Franz, what can advertisers do to really solve this problem?
Sure. So, I mean, I think fundamentally, one of the most important things is obviously to manage your bids and manage your keywords and your ASINs. So I think that is clear. Now, the way that we look at it is that there are three ways how you can manage your advertising campaigns. The first one is manual management. The second one is rule-based management, rule-based automation. And the third one is algorithmic automation. And so the main difference between those three approaches is how you split the work between you as an advertiser and the software that you're using. In the case of manual management, you do everything yourself as an advertiser. So you set the goal, which typically means that you set a target ACoS. You define the strategy. So you decide on the bid changes. You say, well, if the bid is too high, then I want to, if the bid is above a certain threshold, I want to reduce it. If it's below a certain threshold, I want to increase it. So you set the strategy and you also do the execution. So you go in there and you implement the changes. That's when you do everything manually. Now, the rule-based automation essentially automates the execution of it. So the rule-based automation, and I think if there are Sellics users in the audience, they will know that we've been promoting the rule-based automation for sponsored products for a very long time. Then you can use rules to build your own algorithm and build rules that will then execute the changes for you, right? So rules are automating the execution, but you as an advertiser are still in control of the goals, and you're also still in control of the strategy because you create your own rules, which means that you create your own strategy. And then finally, the third approach that exists to manage your advertising campaigns is algorithmic automation, or sometimes also called as AI, or so artificial intelligence automation, whatnot. And so the key difference between AI and rule-based automation is that AI typically also sets the strategy. So if you use AI, the only thing that you do is you enter a target. You say, I want to get to an ACoS of 15%, for instance, and then the software will work for itself to get there. And as an advertiser, you have very little control on how the software is getting there. So it's a bit more of a black box approach. So at Sellics, we are offering all three ways to manage your campaigns for sponsored products. So the manual way and the rule-based way. And also since the beginning of this year, we have Autopilot, which is our AI solution, algorithmic solution for sponsored products, which is seeing a ton of success. So that's what we've been doing for sponsored products. And now the news is that we're expanding our capabilities for automation also to sponsored brands. And this is something that has been heavily requested. So you'll see here, if you're in the PPC manager, you will know that we have an overview where you see your sponsored products and your sponsored brands together. Then you have a bunch of different ways how you can manage your sponsored products. And then you have sponsored brands. And historically, we've only had the manual optimization, which you have here. And now we also have this new menu item that is automate. And so if you click on this one, it will take you to our rule-based automation for sponsored brands. And so as you'll see here, personally, I think it's one of the most beautiful, most well-designed features that we've ever built. It is a completely new way of how we've thought about automation and using rules. So the way that it's set up is that you have different columns, somewhat like a Kanban board or like a Trello board. So you have different columns. And then in the first column is the column that is called no automation. This column will include all the campaigns. So all of those boxes here are campaigns. So this column will include all the campaigns that you have not automated yet. So where there's no automation applied. And now we really thought about how can we make it as easy as possible for you as advertisers to start the automation. And so we've come up with a very simple way, which is you just choose the campaigns that you want to have. So let's say you want to automate those 2 campaigns. And then you just move those campaigns to the different rules or to the rule set that you want to apply. So we have created 3 best practice rule sets, one to maximize awareness, another one to maximize sales, and a third one to maximize sales efficiency. And so let's say that we want to maximize awareness. So we just choose maximize awareness, we hit apply, and then those 2 campaigns are moved from the no automation column into the maximize awareness column. And so by moving them into this column, from the moment that they are added to this column, our rules will start automating those 2 campaigns from now on, and will execute changes on a daily basis to manage your campaigns. And so now you may wonder, well, okay, but what rules are there? And so you're able to click on the 3 rules here. So you see there are 3 rules included in this rule set. And now you'll see the exact breakdown of the rules. So the first rule is that you're increasing bid if your ACoS is too low. The second one is you increase bid if you have too few impressions. And the third rule is that you decrease bid if ACoS is too high. And you'll have an explanation of all of these. And so those are the 3 rules that we have defined as the best practice rules for maximizing awareness. And so from now on, we've automated those rules, those ad campaigns here, and they will be automated following those 3 rule sets. So it is very simple to get a great overview of which campaigns have been automated and which ones have not been automated. And it's a very easy way to then start the automation, because pretty much you just drag and drop those campaigns over to the right column. And then that's all you need to do. From there on, we take the automation from here. So it is so that is a massive update. It's the first time that we allow any sort of automation for sponsored brands. So as I said, we do have created 3 best practices. We have awareness maximization, we have sales maximization, and then when you scroll further to the right, we also have sales efficiency. But of course, you can also go and create your own rule set. So you could go in here and say, Thomas demo, and then you could create your own rule, and you can go here and it's very flexible, whatever rule you want to create. So you can say after, let's say after 2 days, if orders are lower than 2, then I want to decrease my target bid by 80%, for instance, right? And then you can add another rule if you want, and you can add unlimited rules to this. And then you just save your changes. And now you'll see that we have a new rule set here called Thomas Demo. And now we want to take this campaign here and apply the automation I just created. So I move it over to Thomas Demo, and then it's done, right? So that's as easy as it gets, I think. That is the big release number 2.
Thank you so much, Franz. So yeah, that's a very big one, and that's connected to lots of feedback that we heard from you in the last couple of weeks and months. Sponsor brands becoming a hot topic. We looked at the numbers. We were seeing that more than 30-40% across the board are already using sponsor brands, but that there's still a huge need to really understand what are the best strategies, and then also what are the ways to really optimize performance optimization. I think this is a big step in this direction that I think we have here today. So I think very excited, and looking at the comments, I think there's also some more excitement around the audience, which we'll love to see. So thank you so much, Tina. And the question is, existing user will have access to this, or this is a separate module that someone needs to get?
Yes, great question. So all existing users will have access, and in fact do have access as we speak. So Tina, if you go into your Sellics account, no matter if it's the seller edition, the vendor edition, or the agency edition, you can just go into your PPC manager, and it will be available to you. It is at no extra cost, right? So none of the releases that we have today are at extra cost. It is it goes with your current package. And it's accessible already today. So already now. So feel free to just log into your account and go ahead and use it. We're very excited to see it.
Great. And we also have Roa, which is asking, let me put this one here. So is there a way to see or compare for what is happening after the automated campaigns have taken hold?
Yeah, so you will see this color code here. So we thought about this as well, because that is always a question. So if you start the automation, are things moving in the right direction? And so you will see this color code here. This campaign here, for instance, is green. This one is red. And so you will have a breakdown or an explanation of what this is here. So the way that it's working now is that you will see the current ACOS here. You see the delta, so the difference between the current ACOS and the target ACOS. And then you can just input your target ACOS. So let's say your target ACOS is 25%. And so you will see exactly how things are going and how things have been developing over time. So there is a way to see how things are going. So again, we thought about how can we make this feedback as easy as possible. And so the color code on those campaigns is indicating whether you're moving in the right direction or not.
Great, thank you. No, I think it's also a common question, but also Ron, just to address it from the other side, we have a couple of customers that we work very closely with that also started to use it. It started with the optimization, and as the logic is very easy to understand, in pretty much all cases, you will see a gradual performance increase. That's pretty much what you would normally otherwise do on a manual basis is now just fully automated, and normally automation does it in a much better way. Thank you, Tina and Kevin, for this feedback. We love to hear that. What has happened to Sellics? Yeah, quite a bit probably. But yeah, we basically really try to ensure that all of the things that we're doing here will help us, as mentioned, throughout the next 12 weeks. Cyber Monday is exactly 12 weeks and 3 days off. And I think now is the time to ensure that everything around profit is set up properly, and also that sponsor brands. Now is the time to really make this one happen, because if you want to ensure that you appear whenever your potential customers are searching for your products, there is these days no way around sponsored brands. We have 5 minutes left.
All right.
So I will do something which I plan to do in 20 minutes. I will do literally in a beautiful 3 minutes run, but that's not a problem at all, right? So let me quickly share my screen again. And what we want to show as the third big thing for basically today if you go to Sellics, to the page, right, you will notice a couple of things. So you will notice the new profit area. We'll find all the information we just talked about. If you go to advertising, you will find an updated area. If you go over overall positioning, that also talks about sponsored brands. If you go here below, right, so we also see this. But if you go to the fourth link at the top, you will actually come to a Grade Your Account report. So we touched on this already once in the past as basically a pilot project, which we started to develop. The context and the background of the grader is to find a scalable way to analyze any account out there and to come up with the biggest opportunities which we can spot automatically and to really help you to focus on the biggest opportunities to grow your business. So this report is still in our alpha beta version, which pretty much means it literally gets better every day because we look at the feedback, we look at the numbers, we look at what we hear from you. But we incorporated many of the latest feedback that we heard. And if you come to the bottom part of the page and you click on download example report, you will actually see what you will receive. And what you will receive is a beautiful, fantastic summary of how you can grow your business faster and better. So as we only have 4 minutes, I will just literally highlight here the most important 2 things, which basically is that one of the core things which you will get in this report, it's a PDF report, which you can print out and read if you are sitting on your couch or wherever you are. But most importantly, I think the core insight, which you will see very quickly, is that we calculate how much money you are right now wasting. Wasting is being defined that you're investing it within PPC, and it doesn't matter if it's sponsored products or brands, where you essentially don't get any sales per target. And if you do this for more than 10 clicks, we assume based on your conversion rate that this one most likely will not pay off, which in most cases is the fact. And if you now use these 20,000, which you basically could invest somewhere else, pretty much in the most efficient targets. So one of the things that you also will see in this report is a breakdown of how much your most efficient targets represent, in fact, of your overall revenue. This is a very common picture, which you will normally see in many accounts around the world, that a view number of products or a view number of keywords or ASIN targets actually represent the majority of the sales and the profitability that you get. So what we try to do here is to increase that part and to shift basically the money that you're not right now investing very nicely into that space. So in that example, if you made 1 million, in this case, you spent 200K on PPC sponsored ads, which includes sponsored products and sponsored brands, means you made 800K in profit. If we now shift the 40K to your effective campaigns, and we'll tell you in the report that you can do this, then we're basically talking about a potential of 600K. In this example account, this represents a growth of 60%, which would decrease your ACOS from 20%, which is the current ACOS, down to 12.5, which is of course a crazy big high figure and can change everything. So there are many more things in this report, which we unfortunately will not have enough time today to review in depth. But what you can do already now, you can just go to the page. You can go to advertising, you can go to Grade Your Account, you can just click on here and you will receive the report within 1 or 2 days, sometimes earlier. It's for free, right? So you can just receive it and read through it. We will have dedicated sessions around the content in this report, but also the content which we also add throughout the next couple of weeks and months. As mentioned, when we talk about sponsored brands, a big focus topic in the next 4 to 8 weeks from the Sellics side will also be to provide you everything you need around sponsored brands to ensure that throughout the next 12 weeks and also the 3 weeks afterwards up to Christmas, you get everything you need to get the most out of the most critical time of the year. So looking at the time, yeah.
Thomas, yes, but before we move on, there's one question. First of all, Kevin, who was can personally vouch for this grade. It helped him to improve his ACOS, so that's great. Thank you, Kevin. But then Sophie had a question, whether this is free. So is this free? Because she said she just paid $350 for a similar product from an agency just last week. So is it free, or what's the situation there?
It's free. It's 100% free. It's fully free, right? So one of the big things that we really try to do with Sellics is to provide you everything you need to be successful. And this report is one of the bigger initiatives which we have right now. There are some others as well, which will come up in the next few months. But this is a bigger one where we really try to help you to understand in a very fast, automated way, where are the big opportunities in your account that you can focus on, and we tell you how you can address them. And all of this is fully free. There's no need to pay thousands of bucks for an agency that will do all of this, within weeks in a manual research way. You will get this for free. And also everything that is included in here will also tell you what the best ways are to basically solve the problem, which you might see here, like in this case, the ad waste, or how to get more of the opportunities which you have here, also with the strategies that you have within Sellics. Okay.
That is a great thing. So the way it works, you go to a website, you sign up, you connect to advertising API, we pull the data and we send it back to you, right? How long does it take typically?
So it took us 2 days in the last few weeks, right? But as of most likely next week, probably already now, to be honest, but very soon for sure, we will also decrease the time span of this up to 30 minutes. So you will receive the report in a much faster way going forward. So what is the link? Ross asking, so let me show this again. So if you go to the Sellics page, just type in sellics.com. What you basically will see here at the top, the second one, advertising, and the last one is create your account. Click on the link and everything is pretty much here. Just click on the button, go through the flow, and everything else is explained. But as I know that we run out of time and there might be some questions, I promise that in the next STL show in 2 weeks, we will also invest a little bit more time into that, just also to address all of the questions, all of the points, and also have a little bit more time to go through some of the topics in detail. There is a Holtman that asks about the 50 reports limit. Yes, this is true, because in the beginning, we still want to ensure that all of this that we're doing here requires a huge amount of also technical bandwidth on our side. We are confident that we can very soon uplift this limit. But for now, right, I think we limited to 50 just to ensure that all the systems work. So if you want to be on the safe side, request it rather sooner than later to ensure that all of this will actually also arrive into your inbox as quickly as possible. Okay, I think I'm just also checking the chat. Thanks so much, Olafur, Kevin, Holtman for the question. Jim, you basically asking if you're already a Sellics customer. If you're a Sellics customer, that's a fantastic question. You can go through this one as well and you will receive it as well, right? So nothing changes there. If you basically are a vendor and agency customer, just talk with your customer success representative. They will guide you. If you're already an existing Sell Edition customer, just talk to support. They will also send you this report. We're working right now that everyone within Seller Edition, Vendor Edition, Agency Edition will also receive this report automatically. So this will, if you haven't received it there yet, there's the plan that you also receive this in the next 1 or 2 weeks. Okay, we are almost out of time, so I will finish the session with two small little things. So the first one, which I just want to ensure that we cover, which is basically here. If you go to sellics.com/social, you will see a page with all of the links around our social presence. And why is this important? Because throughout the next 12 weeks, again, we have 12 weeks up to Black Friday, 12 and a half weeks until Cyber Monday. There are many things which we are seeing already, which are significant opportunities for Amazon brands. So we will post many of these across our channel. So if you're not following them yet, now is the time to do. Sellics.com/social, and we will ensure that you don't want to miss out any of the strategies which we will post to ensure that you can grow your business. With that said, we open up the last survey, which is basically how you liked this special show, the first show where Franz and myself have been here together. Is this the worst show, the best show? Should we do this in the future again? Did you hate it? Right? Just give us some some feedback. Oh my God, friends, they hate it.
That's harsh feedback, but we take it and we'll improve. Like I say, I'm trying to, let me just, because some folks were asking for the link to the report. So I'm just going to share it here. So I just posted it in the chat for everyone. So you can go and check out the report there under this link.
Yeah, and just to clarify again, if you are already a seller edition, vendor edition, or agency edition customer, you want to get the report, the easiest way is just to quickly write to either support your customer success representative, and they will guide you through the flow. If you're not, right, you can just access the report via the link. You can always access the report via the link, right? So this also works for everyone. And also as of next week, as soon as you will start also any seller edition, vendor edition, or agency edition trial, you will also receive it there, because again, for us, it's very important to guide you through the journey to ensure that you will be successful on Amazon, but also on Amazon advertising. So the feedback, I think, is in. It's not as horrible as I feared. I think it's good. Thank you so much for the good feedback. If you have any other thoughts, comments, please just always reach out to us. We are there, and we will ensure that you will receive everything. And we will see you again, hopefully in 2 weeks, to our next show around what you can do in the next 12 weeks. The poll results, Stefan wants to see the poll results. 90% give a 5, Stefan. You're very, very, very curious. There you are. Okay.
So thank you everyone for joining today. It's been a bunch of updates, but we have more coming in the next couple of weeks. So we hope that we're going to have another session like this sometime very soon, huh?
Cool. Thank you, guys. Have a fantastic day, evening, wherever you are. See you soon.
See ya. Bye. Bye-bye.